You know that when Taiwanese writer go back to Shanghai to visit his childhood house, he said it's like a dream, as if he just walked back into his neighborhood, into his own house, without any change for about 30 to 40 years. It was a really strange thing, but of course the change has been enormously. These very broad ideas. I think for the few things I would like to highlight is what kind of function do you want to create for the urban area. And the second is how do they organize it in the most efficient way. And third is how do they work on land, on infrastructure and finance. So that's basic, but I think I would just highlight a few issues. So I think we're not talking about some piecemeal project. We're really talking about urban mega project. And that's why it is also different strategy they use in different from other projects within Shanghai or in other cities. So in this case, you're talking about area that would like to provide new economic functions into the service sector, into the high-tech sector for the future of the city, and you like to create an interlink between the Shanghai, its hinterland, and the outside world. So in this case, if you look at it, you'll see that all these functions have been very much focused on building something new. And this building something new, you can see the financial and trade that has disappeared during the last 30 to 40 years. But that's what they are going to catch up. And high tech is something that they would like to attract other investors coming inside. Basically, what they would like to do is, in order to avoid all the red tape, in order to avoid all the interest conflicts, they would like to create a buffer zone. So in this buffer zone, in this case, what you can see in other Asian tigers, they do similar things and we learn. It's a special economic zone. In this zone, you create new rules. You can transfer land at a price, and you can have private sector develop a lot more things in different areas than what you used to have. For example, infrastructure. So you also can provide policies. These kind of policies, although it's not invested by the government in money, they create a lot of money and they create a lot of opportunity. Tax deduction, land transfer at a reduced price. So all these kind of things may help to build up the commitment of the investors from the private sector. And I think they also create this kind of buffer zone that creates more autonomies, so that this government of Pudong, they can approve a large amount of money, of investment, and they can create their own projects. So in that case, they also have a lot of power to do things. In this case, you see the same kind of selective strategy. They create priority zones. Within the zones, they create priority areas. And they invest most of the money for the infrastructure within this kind of priority area. So in order to have this area develop at the fastest speed. So further on, there are a lot of works that has been initiated by the local government to project their project into the outside world through city marketing strategies, tour to the East Asian countries, to Europe and to America, and build up some international design competitions to project themselves outside. When the global urban architects come in, like Rogers, medias follow them, and so does the project will have a lot of attention within the medium. So in this case, they are generally building up their fame in it. And the central government, they have to do two things. On the one hand, they have to examine the feasibilities of this project to make sure that this will raise money, and especially Shanghai is so crucial for them in terms of stability and economic growth. On the other hand, you have to make compromise with other provinces and other cities who may think of, if Shanghai is going to develop Pudong area, the money will go to Shanghai and not go to them. So you have to create some other kind of strategy to comfort everyone who may have their interest and influence. So in this case, later on, they have some special policies for the neighbor province to invest in real estate sectors in Shanghai, Pudong area. So that's another story. Oh, sorry. So, basic few things. Land used is owned by the government, but now it can be transferred. And in Pudong area, because it's a buffer zone, it's obliged all actors to transfer the land through money or compensation. And this is not, that was not done at the time in Shanghai or in other cities. So that was quite a big, bold policy. And another thing they were introduced is they introduced the development or transfer of land through development companies. They are the ones who are working at the ground to negotiate with the private sector and to make the development done. So that's quite a unique one. And they are 60% owned by the government. So on the one hand, they have a lot of tasks that was given by their main shareholders. On the other hand, 40% of the shareholders also demand them to behave in a more business-like way. So they have to demand also for profit. So that's quite a different scenarios as what you see from the Rotterdam development companies in the Netherlands, which is really wholly owned by the government. So in this way, they are a lot more complex structure in their corporate finance. Development can be done in joint ventures with the private sector in small parcels like 50 hectares to 30 hectares. And it can also done together with the bank. But in the 1990s, it was forbidden to work together with the banks. You can only get loans from the bank. And then can sell land to small developers for further development. And this is also quite new because at the time they were, in the beginning, was allowed only to develop fully, provide with all the facility and sell. But now you can do also raw land and start to develop later on. So there are all kinds of possibilities within these land policies that we form. And they list themselves, development companies list themselves in the stock market in order to get more monies coming in, which is always welcome. I think very important strategies for cities is to create accessibilities for area. If you want to really develop area, to stimulate development and to create this economic function, you shouldn't forget that you need to access to this area. And I think in Pudong area it is extremely important because the 500 meters of a river really is a big barrier for them to develop in the last several centuries. So what is important is to really build up all kinds of connections across the river, or to have this area being accessed by faster speeds like metros or highways, or even to have this connection with the outside world. So if you look at this, you will see actually quite a big ambition of Shanghai to have all the area access to the center, downtown area of Shanghai within 30 minutes, although this probably they cannot realize. So you have, starting with the bridge founded by Asian Development Bank,